particular, at the UMSC, we follow the presidential directives. If it says lockdown, we also lock down. If it says now allow 30% of the workforce, we follow that, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to my job, like head of women, youth, and children affairs, it means a family.
Yes.
And I keep on receiving reports, complaints, and maybe seek for advice. The families come to me, the family members report to me, and it has been terrible. Most of the things, the things that COVID has brought us are really negative, right from health, from wealth, from morals, from education, and so on and so forth.
Share with us some of those reports that you get about how our homes have been challenged. Yeah. What do our mothers...
Homes have been challenged, viewers. First of all, the way I receive reports, the UMSC, we have me at the headquarters. I'm one, it's one office. And then we clustered Uganda into 9 regions, or 78 Muslim districts.
With you at the helm?
Yes. And then 500 counties and 13,000 mosques. That's how the reporting system at Supreme Council works. So at each one of those levels, we have a women and youth affairs leader. So the mosque reports to the county reports to the district, and then the district to the regions. It is the region that brings me reports.
Okay. The district goes to the region?
And the region reports to the headquarters. That's how we work. So you don't be surprised if I have a report from NEBI, and I'm very certain, I'm very comfortable to mention it on media. Okay. I received it from very reliable and organized sources. So when it comes to families, we have, first of all, a lot of immorality. Since children are at home, fine, but they are also redundant. There is being home is one thing. It's their right. It is okay for the parent to have a child. It is okay and normal. But one thing, they are very redundant. They sleep, oversleep. They watch TV. Some go gardening. Some do not. Some just sit there the whole day. So this has brought a lot of negative things. The English say that a redundant mind is a devil's workshop.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had cases of incest, relatives having sexual affairs with relatives. We had issues of defilement. We had issues of rape. Typical rape has been there within the families. And it is evidenced by the teenage pregnancies that we see. Some are from within the families. Some do not even mention it. They say, this is too heavy for us. If we go to police, if we go to follow the referral pathway, we are going to be ashamed as a family. Let's keep it for ourselves. So I understand, or I'm very sure that the girl child has suffered more than the boy child, because we have districts that are worst hit by teenage pregnancies. I'll mention the regions for that matter. Busoga region has found it rough. Western Nile has found it rough. And some areas of Ruchiga and Kole Chigezi. Then of course Kampala Wakiso, because of the population. So COVID-19 has brought the numbers that we have now as compared to those numbers of teenage pregnancies before COVID could come are really alarming. And we should be set for another trouble of maybe a baby boom or what, but it is really worse.
Harriet, it's not the first time we have been at home.
Oh, yes.
There are holidays, there are vacations. Senior 6 leavers can be at home for almost a whole year. Senior 4 leavers, there's time when all classes are at home, third term long holidays. Yes. What is so special with this particular time that we have been at home that has exacerbated these kind of problems that we see in our...
It is the time range. The time range. COVID has been here for longer than the known holidays. For example, if senior, you know, I worked in the academia for long. When P7 leavers are at home and senior 5, senior 6s, it happens maybe for 1.5 months. That's half of December and the whole of January. When January sets in, P7 has go to school and senior 5s go to school. Then you remain with senior 6s, which are at a family level you can have a maximum of 2 or 3. But now this is now a mixture. They blended together all age brackets. For example, we are having P7ers, we are having senior 1s, we are having senior 2s, we are having senior 3. The number and the time, it makes it special because all the classes are now at home. And then all the candidates are now at home, including university students. They are now at home. So the numbers are exorbitant and also the time range. They have been together for long. To sum it up, the redundant mind. You know, when senior 4 gets holidays and goes back to school, there's that pressure that I must pass the next level. I must do well from senior 5 to senior 6. But now they started at the beginning of COVID. We could tell them, okay, read. Can you have U lessons? Can we have radio lessons? But you know, so we reached a point and said, you know, we felt even guilty to tell the children that read because we didn't know when to go back. You are aware, Mr. Lukomwa, that when children go to school, the first thing they put into consideration is exams. I'm going to pass exams. And now that there is no even timetable, board and so on. So now that there is no even hope for examination, not even UNEB, then it makes these children lose focus and lose direction. And they have no plan for that time. They didn't plan like that. A child might have planned that by 2022 I'd be doing my senior 6. And now he's stuck. He's not passed up to senior 4 even. So the time range and also the numbers, the mixture of all ages, children of all ages, has made it very complicated even to the parents.
You, the parents, have been blamed for whatever has gone wrong in these houses during this period of time. Yeah. Actually, I've had different people saying 80% it's because of poor parenting roles that children are getting pregnant, others are becoming thieves, others are loitering all over the villages. What is your view?
To a certain extent, parents are to blame because of poor parenting. And you know, this system of teaching a child self-policing, take care of yourself even in my absence. So at a certain point, we fail to do that.
What does it entail, that self-policing?
Self-policing means honesty. Be honest with yourself, fear God, know the Allah you worship is there with or without me, your God is watching. It's something to do with spiritual knowledge. And the children are used to this kind of policing, like mother is around, I should be humble. When she's not around, I'm a different person. So it's all about honesty. Dishonesty begins at that point.
Share with us the technicalities of how a parent would inculcate such into a child.
They are cultural, they are spiritual, they are religious. In Islam, I'll talk about my religion. In Islam, we have what we call ihsan. Ihsan means good behavior and good manners. And it has one statement. It says, you worship Allah as if you are watching him. Even if you don't see him, he's seeing you. That is the bottom line. So at a lower level, children may ask, if I switch off the lights, will God see me? I say, yeah, he's watching you. And if he wants, he can even take away your soul in darkness. Don't you think he's watching? Even if I hide, even if I steal some money and nobody is watching, Allah is watching. If a child grows up with that, you know, it's, oh, mother is not around, but the God I worship is watching, and I shouldn't do it. So if that one is developed into activities, it defaults into activities like prayer, because when we are praying, we Muslims, we don't have anything to put in front. We just pray. And God is watching, and we are sure He's going to reward. So worshipping Allah as if you are seeing Him is the bottom line of trustworthy, honesty, and self-policing. Once a child loses that, he will worship you as a parent. He will say, since mother is not around, I'm not even supposed to pray. When father comes home, that's when I'll say salam alaikum. That's when I'll pray. That's when I'll do good things. We have fasting seasons like Ramadan, where you have to do without food for the whole day. And now if you don't have that concept in you, you will hide in the store and eat food and eat some banana and come say, because self-policing was not inculcated in you. So parents out there, I don't know what Christianity entails, but tell the children that the God you worship is ever there. He doesn't sleep. In our region, we say God does not forget, does not sleep, does not doze. So He's watching you, and if you do good things, He will reward you. If you do bad things, He will punish you. So children have lost focus of that. Not to mention the material world that we are living in. When all our stakeholders are saying children should go for science subjects and they should learn science from childhood, but science should be combined with that. If you get a good surgeon who does not know God, he will
sell people's organs.
Sell people's organs. If you get a good engineer does not know God, he will steal the cement. So we are saying science should be promoted alongside spiritual. All this corruption that we see is because of lack of that. Self-policing means if you are not, even if nobody is watching you, even if there are no auditors coming into the company, you should be honest. Allocate the funds the way they are designed to do.
What are those mistakes you think parents have made, and these mistakes have also escalated the problems that we see during the...
Before that, Mr. Lukomwa, I want to stand in for the parents. Okay. We said 80% they are to blame, but there is a 20%.
Fine, but still with the 80%.
It's too
what
much.
are those mistakes you think they make besides failure
parents,
to inculcate the
one,
policy?
there are many mistakes that we do, including myself.
Okay.
But one is forcing standards. You guys, parents, can force standards. Like you go into something that you cannot sustain. You take a child to a school that will not even, that will make you sleep hungry because the neighbor is taking his child to a certain school.
That kind of a school.
Then we go home, we go into maybe gardening, we go to the garden, fetch food, and we are not telling the child that gardening is good. Go with me and we bring food because the food that you're going to eat. We leave the children sleeping, we go and get food, bring it at home, we peel, we cook. So we are telling a child to stay in a different life, different from what we are, the real life. What I would expect a parent to do is to go and get food, and then tell a child, if you don't go to the garden, then cook for us, so that we come back when the food is ready. But we are bring up children differently. Play a role. Can you make a contribution? Can you be useful? Can you be missed when you are not around? That, oh, T would be here, but you know, Jordan is not around. That's why T has delayed. But we make our children to stay. We become their maids, their workers. That's a very big mistake. The second mistake that we do is the time allocation. Parents, I appreciate what we do to earn money. Others are doing informal sector, others are employed. But really, we should find time. We don't know our children. One thing COVID has brought, as we shall come to that, the positive part of it is it has forced us to parent. Your child is bad-mannered. All the village knows, but it's only you who doesn't know. Because you're ever away. You are 24/7, you are ever away. I know employment comes with challenges, but at least find a day in a week and stay with those children and know who is rude, who is you can even detect dishonesty, somebody who deceives a lot, who tells lies. I've been here. So we don't give time to the...
I want to understand that as well. It is said so much. Parents, give time to your children. Give time to your children.
Quality time.
What exactly does that mean? To give time to children.
You give time to the children. It depends on the age of the children. Now, a child who is in senior 6 vacation, if you overstay with him, he will even get tired of you. What we mean is quality time. Address something. You say, this week I'm going to address honesty. The values. How honest is my child? Get 20,000, keep it with him, and tell him, I'll need this money, but first keep it for me. This is a youth who likes spending, who likes bragging around. After 4 days, request him to bring MBs, data. After 4 days, tell that child, please, where is the other 20,000? Because the national water people have come, and I want us to send the money to pay the water bill through mobile money. Somebody who is honest, you can give to 3 of them, but one will bring a different answer and say, you know, Mom, I had issues and I'm sorry I couldn't tell you. The other one will bring it the way it is. Then the other one will say, you know, it is very far, I'm going to just get it from... You know, you can test the honesty there and handle. Don't quarrel with him, tell him that's bad. If somebody entrusts you something, keep it well. Begin small, and then those who do better, reward them. The problem with parents also, sometimes we emphasize weaknesses. You talk about a weakness today, tomorrow, you are the thief, but you have never trained him not to be a thief. So we should tell them, we should test them. You put some marks. It's very easy to give. And then do it and keep it with him for another month, for a full month. Now, if somebody failed to keep 20,000 for 3 days, then you should know what will happen. You can take a risk and entrust him with the salary and say maybe 100,000 to each one of you. Keep the money. You are entitled, you are in charge of this, you are in charge of this. Let's hand over to these parents, to these children, a few things. The shopping part of it, can you teach them how to do shopping and bring back the balance with a receipt? If you go to the supermarket, can you bring that printed receipt? That is responsible parenting. So as we give time to the children, it depends on the age.
You're adding value to who they are whenever you are.
And you are making a very, very responsible citizen of this country.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, Harriet. You said COVID has a good side. What did you mean? In terms of our families still?
The impact of COVID is both positive. It's not only negative, yes. Really.
What is that?
We were forced to parent. That is one thing. We are forcefully parenting children. Some of us, we didn't know that our children are noise makers. A child can make noise until the neighbor would really complain, and you didn't know that. And neighbors could come and tell you, this child is ever like this, but when you come back, he pretends, and you couldn't believe. Now you are put into a task to stay with your child 24/7 and a lockdown. He cannot pretend for 42 days. He can't for all that. So we came to discover the weaknesses of our children. We came to discover the good side of our children, the good habits, the good manners. We have come to appreciate that. The other thing that COVID has brought to families, the good thing, is the financial management. Okay. You guys, we have learned a few things. We have learned that a family can be there when it takes breakfast and one meal.
In the evening?
Around 4.
6 p.m.
4 o'clock, because you didn't have lunch. And we have learned to save and to economize things. We have learned to save money, to save food stuff, to manage our stores, food stores very well. We have learned to plant a few greens, vegetables, even they call it urban farming. We have learned to save and rely on ourselves. Before, we could just say in the morning, mother or father, we don't have sugar, we don't have this, and we just spend. But now you have the guts say, no, there is a half kilo of sugar that remained in the morning. Where did it go? We could just spend anyhow. So financial management has been one issue that has come with COVID. Even if the economy opens up, that skill has grown in us.
In a big number of people, it will
Yeah,
stay.
it will. It has to stay. Then another good thing, there is that relationship, neighborhood, behaving well with the surrounding, because tolerating others, we have come to tolerate others. Then it's skilling the children. You find so many, maybe a good percentage of families are no longer using housemates because you don't have money. You can't afford paying a housemaid. When you have teenagers in the house, they have learned how to wash for themselves. They have learned how to cook. Maybe at the beginning food got burnt, but now salt levels. But now I'm sure that skill will never go out of the child.
What is your comment about, as we take the break, your comment about the fights between couples? There are claims about these fights having escalated during the lockdown.
Yeah, the gender-based violence, it is a world on its own. It has escalated.
Based on the reports you receive,
it's one of the worst things that COVID has come with is gender-based violence, domestic violence. It has also come with separation, divorce, and people leaving their homes for something else. And it is bad. It has escalated. It's one of the bad things. But this has been brought by the background of that couple. Do you know that people have come to discover that they didn't love each other? They got married by accident or by, I don't know, it was a circumstantial marriage. They come to discover, hey, I didn't know that this man is like this. Oh, I didn't know that this woman is like, Kumba is like this. Issues of hygiene, issues of cleanliness, issues of personality, arguments and what. Before we didn't have time. Maybe a father could go to work and a mother stays at home. Sometimes they both go to work, meet in the evening, day in, day out, year in, year out. But now they are staying together and they are forced to keep morals and keep the boundaries. Keep the boundaries.
Because of the time that they have to watch each other.
They have disagreed. Some over-complain. Others are used to some had expectations and they no longer get them. They were used maybe to a certain kind of life and maybe the family cannot longer afford because they have lost jobs and they stay together. So a person who had money behaves sometimes differently when he loses, and all those habits come out, and it has resulted into separation, divorce, and terminations of marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where does COVID-19 leave a family in general, in your overview, as we take a break? With the problems with children, the fights among couples, the poverty that it has brought? It
leaves the family on a drawing board. We need to go back on a drawing board and plan afresh.
Thank you so much. Her name is Hajat Sheikhat Namakula Radia, and we are sharing a number of things, especially to do with how COVID-19 has impacted on our families. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy this short break. Do not go anywhere.
My home, I smile when I think of you, Uganda. My home. My home, I dance when I look at you, Uganda. My home, oh my Uganda.
I know, with you I'll always stay forever. I know, because I feel that we belong together. My home, under the sun so bright, under the
MTN, we look forward to starting another exciting journey together to grow our home, Uganda.
UBC One-on-One, welcome back from the break. Thank you so much for keeping it with us. We are still with Hajat Sheikhat, Radi and Namakula, and we are sharing a number of issues to do with how COVID-19 has affected our families, how it has impacted our families, and we have looked at a number of ways, a number of challenges that it has imposed on our families. We now want to know what can be done to bring order back into our homes, and what is it that has come up that we can keep with us. Hajat, welcome back from the break.
Thank you.
Yes. Who has to do what to keep sanity in our homes regardless of what has happened?
Yeah, I must appreciate.
Because we have the fathers, the mothers, the children, the neighbors, and what?
Parents.
We have single parents, single fathers, single.
Guardians.
Who has to play what role in their capacity?
I must appreciate that there is a certain level of sanity. All is not lost. There's a certain level of sanity, and those things are circumstantial. They just come and go. But each one of us has a role to play. For example, under normal circumstances, a family has a mother and a father. In some cases, some women are widowed, others are divorced, others single mothers and what. But there is a head always.
Yeah.
Can you plan well if you are the head? Whether you're a single mother, whether you're a father, whether you're a guardian, can you plan well? Can you plan better? Can you stop lamenting and stop complaining to people? Can you stop mentioning COVID? We can mention COVID, we can blame COVID for the last 2 years, but we cannot blame COVID for the next 1 month.
Doesn't the planning vary according to the different situations we go through? Take an example. There are families that have been torn apart financially because of COVID-19. Imagine a family where both the parents were teachers in private schools. They have not been earning throughout.
We do plan again.
When you talk about planning, give us a picture of
Planning means changing the job. Can you accept that you have lost the job? Because sometimes we live in denial and say, you are not working, but you are telling yourself you are working. Can you accept first that the thing is now we have no jobs and it may not come back? Then you plan as how are we going through, how are we surviving? Because we are renting, sometimes we are going. What else can you do apart from teaching? I say, can we go back and discover our skills, childhood skills? We used to dig, we used to do gardening, and we are no longer doing it. We used to bake, we used to do baking, and we no longer do it. We stopped doing it because we are teaching English literature. We stopped baking. We stopped that, how is it called? Decoration and some knitting, and we no longer do it. Sit down and say, tell yourself, and what did I used to do during childhood that I need to perfect and make it commercial and make it a source of income. It's all about planning. So what really pains is that sometimes we lose jobs and we lose it physically and mentally, but we fail to accept that we lost the job. And we keep on, telling people, I lost a job. For 6 months you are telling people that, then you will not manage. Accept that we used to have meat on Saturdays and we can no longer afford it. Can we plan better? The money that we used to buy a kilo of meat can feed us on greens for 3 meals. Can we plan better, both our income and expenditure? Can we discover ourselves? Can we embrace the informal sector, as we call it?
Do you know such adjustments have broken families?
They have, but that's the reality. And the earlier it breaks it, the better. Because you'll deceive yourself that the family is there when it's not there.
The men try to come up with such adjustments.
Yes.
And our sisters,
The mothers.
they sometimes they don't embrace it.
And the reverse is also true, being head of women and youth. I told you that some people discovered that they didn't love each other. I got married to a bank manager I didn't got married to Mr. Hussein. When you lose that job, I got married to a member of parliament. I didn't get married to no, I didn't get married to your name. I didn't get married to Ibrahim. I got married to the title. When the title goes, then you lose everything. So that's why they lose. So we accept it.
How do you look at that situation?
It's bad. It's bad for those who are...
Where that now the husband accepts that things have changed to the negative. So I have to make adjustments that favor the situation.
Yes.
Somebody says, we have...
I can't do without a massage. I can't do without salon. I can't do that. They do it, but also husbands should package it well. You should explain to it needs psychosocial support to your spouse, to your children. I say, members we have, can we develop this culture of family meetings? Can we have a weekly family meeting and say, guys, where we are now? First of all, the following have been cut. No bread in the morning. We are going to eat the cassava that remained last evening. No meat on Saturday. There's no chicken throughout the week. Reason, I've lost the job. Now, I find that relevant. The members of the family will come up with ideas.
I find that explanation relevant to the children.
To the children and the spouse also.
Does the mother really need such in-depth explanation of things that would be obvious to her?
Yeah, she needs it. Because you may be also planning, but you don't plan well. You may think that losing a job means this. And she comes out with an investment plan and say, why don't we use that small money which remains in the account to do this? Don't do it alone. Involve the mother in decision making because she's your deputy in the home.
Then why does she walk away? Because we can't have fish.
Because you didn't talk to her very well. You didn't package the message. She just saw things changing and you didn't even tell her that you...
But this is a fact of me losing a job.
I hope you communicated it.
As an adult,
yeah.
Something I expect that you understand.
No, it costs nothing to emphasize a point.
So I package a fact that you see.
Package it well.
We need a meeting.
I'm still a good husband, but you know, some things I can no longer afford.
I now know why some families break.
Yeah, communication.
Because I really find it not right.
No, please don't take it for granted. I'm not supposed to understand it.
That I've lost a job.
You have lost a job, but the things that I receive, it's not my role to understand that. It is your role to explain to me. Some lose jobs and take 2 months without communicating it, thinking that the
because
wife
I know
will
your
go.
reaction, because of the expectation that I have.
You know, you are just delaying a fact because when the moment I discover that I don't get this, I'm not after the job, but the things that you used to provide are not there, and you are not giving alternative, and we don't know the reason. Sincerely, how do you stay in such a situation? So my call to
how does walking away solve it?
I don't
on
know.
Your side?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's not worth a walking away. Things will improve. So my message to the mothers there, just hold on a bit. Things will improve. My message to the guardians and the heads of families, communicate well and in time.
If we organized a youth conference and you are a keynote speaker to the senior 3, senior 4, senior 6, and we gather them in the main hall somewhere, what would be your message for them as they go through this holiday of 2 years?
First of all, I'll tell them, first of all, the values. The values that I told you about. You know, we religious people, we teach values. And sometimes you don't see them, you see its impact on somebody. The value of honesty, the value of patience, the value of understanding, listening, the value of sympathizing with your empathy and sympathizing with your parents, what they are going through, and the value of patience, that God just wanted it this way and you have a better life after this. You needed this break. You needed a break in your life because since childhood, since 3 years, we have been taking into a daycare, nursery school, primary. When P7 comes, we say, let the child go and learn computer. When it is holiday, we say, you know, we have holiday packages. When it is school time, we have, before the term begins, you read for beginning of term. Like then visitation, we need marks. How did you perform? Vacation, we say go and learn wiring. You know, you needed this in your life. And God wanted it, and what God sees is the best for you. So you needed this in your life, and we don't know when it's going to end. We don't make false promises, and so we don't know when it's going to end, but we pray to Him that it goes away and we go back to our normal life. The second thing I would tell that secondary school child, our teenagers at home, I'll tell them to discover themselves. What can you do best? You are good in what? What should you be known of? We have children who are very, very good financial managers. You can put 10,000 there and they say, Mom, instead of buying this, let's buy this and this and this. It would have solved the problem. But if you keep it for yourself, then it doesn't help. Can you discover what you can do better? Some are good barbers. They can, instead of taking money to the salon, we can buy that cutting and cut off the hair of the family. What can you do best? Can you do baking? Can you slash the compound instead of hiring somebody to come and do it for us? So they need to be supportive to the family. They need to give support to the family of any kind, even if it means talking to their young ones. If you have young children and you are maybe a senior for child, can you talk? Please don't shout. Don't do this. Don't.
So the fathers should make sure they communicate properly
and in time.
Okay. What is the role of the mothers?
The role of the mothers,
to whom we only have to communicate.
Listen. You know, you are just underrating the mothers.
No,
the
I'm
mothers, not. No, in some cases, the mothers earn more money than the fathers.
Yes.
If my mother is a member of parliament and my father is a civil servant, she earns better than.
Definitely.
Yes. So sometimes they are they are the head of finances. Yes, they have bigger financial muscles. So the mothers, I just want them to, I request that they understand and listen and also act accordingly. Some mothers have money, but they hide the money. They sit on it. The children are theirs. And I don't know what they want to do with the money if you don't feed your child. They just say, if a father does not buy, then the child will not eat. This is my money for a woman. So, I request that mothers understand, and if it means spending on the family, the best person you can spend on is your family members.
Definitely.
You cannot keep money to spend in the mosque or in the church, give alms when your family is starving. Actually, you should spend on your families. And then on equitable terms, of course, what you can afford. Then mothers, understand your spouses. Understand them. Can you sit down and say, okay, before COVID could come, we used to have this, but now, instead of driving this car, I can even walk it. It's good for my exercise. Because I don't have fuel, it's not a big deal. I can walk it. So adjust accordingly. This will keep peace in family, and the family, if family is good, society is good. If society is good, then the country is good.
Okay. Let's go to your office as we wind up on Hajat. So you said you are in charge of women and the youth, and that means family.
Family.
Yes, so they report to you. You hinted about the reports that you get, but what kind of actions do you take? How do you help these families?
The first action I take is psychosocial support. And I first teach my representatives, maybe in the region, and I tell them, go and do it to your districts. One region can have 5 districts or 6, and then he calls those women and pass over the message. She goes and passes it over, and it goes trickles down.
Okay.
Psychosocial support is very important. We need to tell people that this is a reality. One thing that we always do, and it's not good, is denial. If somebody died of COVID, for example, it is the head of the family, the best donation that you can give to these family members, surviving family members, is tell them first accept that our head died and he will never come back. There we shall see a way forward. But some people remain in that trauma. They are traumatized, and they think maybe Maybe he'll come back. Maybe I'll saw him through the window. Maybe, and they take time. After a full year, they are losing everything. So psychosocial support is very important. And then prevention of COVID itself in the family. COVID comes with a lot of expenses. It is very costly. So the cheapest way to save a family, it is first of all, make sure none of us fall sick. Because when you fall sick, then things fall apart.
In terms of challenges in our families, what preventive measures do you have in your works to prevent these problems?
We empower the parents. Empower the parents because they are the source of everything. These children have been there, and the first man they saw is the father, and the first woman they saw is the mother. And you keep on telling them, don't go to the neighbor, don't go this. So do you have what to offer to them? Do you have a holistic education that you are giving to them? So you empower the fathers, you empower the mothers, how to parent. I told you about values.
Yes.
We emphasize values, and once you have those values, you will handle all the material world that you can
How easy do you find this kind of work?
It's not very difficult because I'm part of it. I'm one of them. So what I go through sometimes, I even consult them.
Sometimes you talk
I say sincerely, out of experience. It's not a difficult thing. So psychosocial support is one thing. Secondly, we have seminars, gatherings. We couldn't manage the Zoom thing because of the facilities some of our people cannot afford. But we talk, we call them, we invite them. We have a Women's Day, we have a youth conference, we have an Eid for children. We call them once in a while and we share. How do you fight poverty? How do you fight COVID? How do you fight HIV? How do you fight? We share any challenge that may be at hand.
You have this arrangement, at least all the traditional religious systems have it.
Yes.
You, the Muslim system, the Catholic Church, the Anglican Church, have heard of these systems. Yes. The government has, civil society has, yes. Cultural institutions have. Why do you think we still have issues in families, even with all this effort from the religious people, the government, the civil society?
Because they are voluntary, my dear. We don't force people into it. Why we still have problems? Because you find even the number that does not attend is bigger. There's no enforcement.
This very week I saw a story of a man
There's no
that
enforcement.
cut his wife's legs.
Yeah. There's no enforcement. We don't have the capacity to enforce. If I call for a seminar, voluntarily you come and attend. If you don't attend, there's no punishment for it. That's why those who attend, you rarely find one. But like it is like a UBC, you can decide to switch on or switch off. There's no enforcement for it.
Someone will find an educative program. He goes
and say, I don't want this. What will you do to them? So religious leaders, I salute you. You are doing a good thing. The civil society organizations are also doing a lot. Government puts in place guidelines, policies, and sometimes enforces. But the education part of it is voluntary. Until you are caught in action, you have assaulted somebody, that's when government comes in to enforce and arrest you. But there's no enforcement that you go and learn. Even if you put it on UBC, they'll switch off. What will you do to them? It's their right to switch off.
But what do you think is lacking with all of you, the systems that have put up a platform where you're guiding families to have a good life?
Yeah. What is lacking is the mindset.
On your side, you, the people that are guiding the families, or on mindset, the sides of the consumers?
All of us, we need to change our mindset. Like we are living in a material world. You only believe things that you can see. If you don't see something, then it's not there. That is materialism. That is what materialism teaches. Yes. And we moved with that thing, and we removed the religion from people. If somebody passes chemistry very well, you'll even clap and dance and shout. If somebody passes IRE or CRE, you say, you know those things, do you want to be a priest or what? And that is the real component that you need. It is lacking. I told you an engineer or a doctor or a surgeon who has no religion, what the damage he can cause. Because he's in the theater and is the overall there. So what is lacking is the religious component, whatever we are doing. It has changed our mindset. You tell somebody it's time for prayer, but you are now watching TV and say, prayer, to whom am I praying? I don't see the God you are worshiping. You know, the material part of it needs to be merged together with the spiritual part of the knowledge.
Someone will think you, the religious people, are not playing your part perfectly.
That, but the mindset is important. You know, that's where the world is material, advanced in technology and what. That's why you see manufactured diseases are emerging, because we are teaching people sciences without the component of religion. We are seeing cyber crime. Somebody is a spab, you know,
At inventing
we praise him, we put him for role modeling, but you need both. That's my...
How are you going to fight for that space as the religious?
No, we don't fight, but we just come to places like UBC and make a program like this one and tell the people that we are missing a point. If we study economics without religion, it will not work. You will embezzle all the money because you know how to do it. You change the zeros, you'll change the one. You'll add a zero on every figure. And we are telling the world, if you study surgery and chemistry, you are going to mix things that will kill people because you know how to do it. It is only that spiritual knowledge that tells you, oh, please, be like Ogwang. Innovate something to help the world. And now, if you help the world, don't exploit it. Sell it at 10,000 for every person to access it.
Thank you so much, Harriet. Just a closing remark from you to people in families that have faced a number of challenges in this situation.
Families, I'm apologizing on behalf of those who you may have hurt. I forgive you. Please don't do it again. I've forgiven you on behalf of them. So parents, if you're a guardian and if you're a father, kindly plan again. You know, the people you are dealing with are now different. You can no longer do things that you used to do, but communicate well and in time. To the mothers in a normal family, please understand what is going on. Make a contribution. If you can wash your dress, wash it instead of hiring somebody. If you have a washing machine, it's better. But now, over-hiring even if somebody to sweep your bedroom, it's no longer possible, and you don't even earn it. Then the children, please, children, my children out there, understand that you are going to be the fathers of tomorrow and the mothers of tomorrow. Don't overstretch your parents. If something is not there, can you hold on? Can you understand them? Can you promise them that you are going to do well? Can you please hold on? Can you stop jumping around? Actually, in Islam, we don't talk about teenage pregnancy. We talk about sex outside marriage. It's not allowed. Actually, in Islam, we don't talk about the other pregnancy is just an outcome. Can you hold on? You'll get there and you'll do it at the right time. Okay. That's my last word.
Thank you so much. Harriet Shekat Radia Namakula. She's the Secretary for Women. And thank you so much, Harriet Shekat Radia Namakula. She's the Secretary for Women and Youth Affairs at the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. Yes, there is need to bring back our families. There is need to comfort each one of us. That's why we thought about a program like this, and we really needed a mother. Thank you so much for the time and whatever we have shared, Harriet. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Micheal Jordan Lukomwa. I'm with the man himself, Davis Kamukama, and Gloria Gwitawinji is also part of the team, just like you who watches this program religiously. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye and good night.
Africa, an endowed tourism destination with extraordinary natural beauty and happy people, making it the friendliest country to visit. A home to one of the highest mountain ranges in Africa, the Mountains of the Moon, the source of the mighty River Nile, with vast wildlife and unique flora and fauna. This is Karamoja sub-region, one of Uganda's unique and most conserved areas where tourism that is inclusive manifests itself. The sweet thrill of change in the atmosphere, the scenery of the plains, and of course, the sounds of the jungle in Kidepo Valley National Park. Hush, listen to the sounds of nature.
Tourism is not only important to me, but also to the community where I come from. The benefit that I've got from tourism, I've managed to educate my children, and one of them is now in year 1 in the University of Makerere. And I've also bought some plot of land within Karenga town. I would have said even my children in future to join this job after I retire, because I can breathe, I can see animals, I can have friends from America, friends from UK.
Representing Karatunga as a tour operator for Karamoja. We benefit from tourism, of course, by creating income of revenue, but that's not where it ends. You know, we work together with the local communities, with tour guides, local service providers, different hotels, and at the same time, we also enable other tour operators and travel agents to sell a similar experience, and all together build Karamoja through tourism.
Ekadoniangane aralu ngitolo ekatopolo netayo nyaka kwa Uganda area mene akabusa hina jokha ekwa yodang to bite aturiam itamete ada marangole kai kisidada lakini roko ekwa ngina ra kor ngina kolongit akabusa kakia.
Believe it or not, from the time a tourist starts planning a journey to any destination of their choice, the host destination begins to feel the impact.
When visitors come here to visit our village, they bring some money, and we get that money to take our children to school, and we enjoy with them everything. We have left even portion because of the donation they bring for us.
I've got money through guiding, not within Lorkul but outside other communities, especially the Ik community. Whenever I take the tourists there, they pay me what's called full day activity. And this money has helped me to buy the motorbike that I've been using. Like whenever I'm called in the park, come and take tourists or do game drives within the park.
Here, they don't wait for ceremonies to sing and dance. It's a hobby. It's part of them, and tourists from all over the world are attracted to this unique culture.
Yangarake ngode yamono kwangulu era na rilo bukui. Yangarake group lo pelo. Abala ngini kwako maluzi yango. Ani bota paro ke bu abolia. Yangarake ndire ni page reta gintikedi.
Everyone has a role to play, from tour operators, the hospitality players, to the simple owner of a manyatta in this part of the Pearl of Africa.
I used to dig like some vegetables like beetroot, coriander, radish. Purposely, I have actually people to buy. Like some lodges, I used to supply like dere, savannah, even spot hunting. They give me a support. I get also income from them. And I support also my family, and that's the way I used to survive.
I joined tourism when I was 21 years. I've rose from a housekeeper to a manager, and I'm happy having now 3 kids. And my family is very happy because I support them, the money I get from tourism, and they're happy.
I'm always paid something. At least I get a guide fee of 50,000. It was my first time to see the currencies called dollars. So all that money actually entered in my pocket because of this tourism.
Yaunyo, Pangna Yauna Rekidan, Yaunyo, Kipang Yauna Rekidan, Topo Jet, the Pedon and Peboliana, Nika Maricatalahazi, a Kupuzaka Rolang in Payok, and your potato with their Bull Tokanaka, a potting Payokala, Yauna.
This is tourism that needs all of us. This is tourism that is inclusive. Keep traveling, keep changing lives.
This weekend on UBC.
So guys, our meal is ready, and don't ask me why I have these two here. I'm going to be joined by the manager who made for us a very beautiful meal.
Some black pepper on the top.
Wow. That's black pepper.
Yes.
The aroma, guys,
Yeah.
so good. Thank you so much for this dish.
most welcome.
I'm very sure I'm gonna enjoy it. So let me get started immediately, right away, guys.
Bon appétit.
Merci beaucoup.
De rien.
Wow, we have the salads as well,
Yes.
guys. This is how our sauce turned out: the minced meat and the how do they call it? Jera? Jera? Jera or biringanya. Yes. And the
There is
chili.
the onion, the chili, there is the
Right.
garlic, you know, everything.
Turmeric.
Actually, you know, I already teach everyone. Delicious, yeah.
The Pink Kitchen.
Most people never notice that all them want and need.
This special day, a legend comes on your national TV. When you think of legends, you can't figure out DJ Dan Starboy, the reggae and dancehall ambassador.
Pound the yard, pound the yard. I love you, woman, I love you. Yeah, you have your own style. I got to love you, you know I love you. Yeah.
Get certified of 99 greatest hits on UBC TV every Friday, 11 p.m.
Rasta no mean to fight, Rasta mean to love me people. Rasta no mean to fight every time. One love you.
Licky, licky, lover, lover, so, so, so. Licky, licky, oh yeah, oh yes. Them just a rock and come and just a skank in the dance. Everyone. Them just a rock and come and just a rock and come and just a rock and come and come. One love. Sitting high, raise my voice high enough for you.
This weekend on UBC.
Now, on the show, we are going to talk about one thing and one thing only: TikTok.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Fine. Kati muyindi mbadde nsaba hiyo mitwalo ebiri.
Sina sent.
What?
TikTok is a Chinese social media app that was vetted for producers to create content that can't be more than 60 seconds. Now, these videos are shared to each and everybody. Of recent, it has spread like wildfire. And in Uganda, we've actually developed a superstar who is a native to that platform.
You can't have that.
Nje bareko basebole banyabo nze Muhammad wa TikTok and oza buli omanda ku TikTok nkola videos Uganda. When I meet fellow Indians nabo batandika kunegomba bagamba okikola batya. I used to see my sister doing My sister used to record videos but she never used to post. So I got interested. Buli sawa mulaba nga ali ku simu we bati umanye bintu bya TikTok yakwemola. Kati nze nange nangamba natandika okunjerega nangamba gwe wadde otandika TikTok tojja kikola. You'll not make it in life. You'll not get followers.
The Universal Periodic Review, UPR, is a unique process under the United Nations Human Rights System. It involves peer review of the human rights records of all United Nations member states every 4 years and is purely a voluntary process where all states are treated as equal partners. The ultimate aim of this mechanism is to help improve on the human rights situation in all countries and address any human rights concerns through technical assistance and cooperation. As the coordinating entity of CSO process, the National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders Uganda, with support of GIZ Uganda, is hosting a talk show on Uganda's Universal Periodic Review on Wednesday 29th September 2021 from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Panelists include Robert K. Chirega, Executive Director, National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders Uganda, Ms. Sarah Virete, Executive Director at Center for Constitutional Governance. Follow the conversation on hashtag UGUPR2022. This message is brought to you by NCHRD Uganda.
Up next on UBC, brought to you by
Keep the lights on. Use Airtel Money to pay for all your Yaka bills conveniently. Open the My Airtel app to buy Yaka units. Airtel Money, simple, secure, borderless.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on this 24th day of September 2021. Well, before we get into our bulletin, let's first take a look at tonight's headlines. In tonight's headlines, presidential police guards acquire new skills at Kasenyi Training School. IGP Ochola resurfaces, claims he is fit.